Well, hello from Kingspan Stadium, where Ireland kick off their 2025 Women's Six Nations campaign against France here today. Of course, they finished their Six Nations here last year with that close win over Scotland, and that was their second win of the campaign. That was enough to get them third place in the table, and of course, qualification for this year's World Cup. Well, after last year's Six Nations, it just escalated for this Irish women's squad. They had a fantastic performance here last September against the Wallaroos. Then they went to the WXV1 competition in Vancouver. They pulled off that sensational 29 points to 27 win over the Black Ferns. They lost to Canada the following week, but they finished that campaign with a win over the USA. And of course, that got them to second place in the WXV table. So what can we expect today? Well, a lot more expectation around this Irish women's squad, that's for sure. There was no pressure, no expectation on them going into that WXV1 campaign last autumn. But of course, there's live television here, there's a home audience, and there's certainly an expectation that the Irish team can produce something special here today. Well, a number of interesting selection calls by the Ireland head coach, Scott Beamond. He's gone with a 6-2 bench split for the first time ever, as far as I can remember, certainly in Beamond's time in charge. He's expecting this game to go down to the last 20 minutes, so he's looking for that strong bench impact. It's a big day today for Amy Lee Costigan. It's the first time that she will captain Ireland in a test game. She's captained Ireland on the 7 series before. She will have backup though. The squad captain, Adele McMahon, is on the bench, and she'll take over the captaincy duties when she comes on at some stage in the second half. And of course, Niamh Jones has been named vice captain. She brings that winning mentality into the Ireland squad after she won the women's premiership title with Gloucester Hartpury last weekend. So what can we expect from France? Well, there's a few questions around this France team going into today's game. They didn't have the kind of WXV1 campaign that they would have liked last weekend or last autumn. So they lost 2 games. They finished 5th in the table. Of course, Ireland finished 2nd, but they've still got that huge threats around the park, including their scrum half, Pauline Bourdon-Sansus. She scored a try after 2 minutes in last year's opening game. They scored 5 tries against Ireland last year. They've got a very strong pack. They will bring that power game, a strong back row. But of course, you look at Ireland's back row, Erin King will make her Six Nations debut today. My goodness, what an impact she made on this Ireland team last autumn. She was named World Rugby's Breakthrough Player of the Year. She's in that back row alongside Aoife Wafer, who was shortlisted for Player of the Year in last year's Six Nations, as well as Brittany Hogan. And another player making her championship debut today for Ireland is Ruth Campbell in the second row. And of course, that set piece element of Ireland's game will be so important today. The France team have already arrived here. It's their first time here in Belfast, whereas Kingspan Stadium has certainly become a fortress for this Irish team. They had that great win over Scotland here at the end of last year's Six Nations, and of course that win over the Wallaroos as well. Ireland haven't beaten France in the Women's Six Nations since 2017, the last time that Ireland played in a World Cup. But there's a lot of hope, a lot of expectation around them today, and they will certainly want to send out a strong statement in this World Cup year. Kick-off here is at 1 o'clock.